Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you're coming from. What a lovely, lovely weekend. I did take the last week off. We had some things, a bunch of meetings last week, so didn't get to necessarily spend some time here. But yeah, today kind of wanted to start off just setting a vibe. So I'm gonna turn some of this lovely music up. Maybe not too loud here. And set a mood. Let's start by a little grounding. Letting some Palo Santo today, and just discussing, today kind of, actually, before we even get into what we're going to go through, let's just get started here. Hello. Just wanted to set a little vibe, light some Palo Santo, say happy Leo season. We just started Leo season last week. I'm definitely feeling the energy. I hope you are too, because Leos are courageous. They are fierce. They, are really out there. Very outgoing. It's definitely bringing out an outgoing energy for me. I spent the weekend not upstate, but somewhat upstate, in nature, which was really lovely, and with friends. I feel like I've been quite an introvert recently, and especially with my energy levels, but it was really lovely, and I think the Leo, harnessing the Leo energy was phenomenal. So I had a really good time upstate, spending time in nature. And yeah, I wanted to kind of take time today to maybe go through a couple of items that I brought into our reading today first, and just kind of chat through, the significance of it. If you guys are familiar with setting up your altar in your home, it's a great place to set intentions, switch out certain things depending on, I like to change things up depending on season, if there's a full moon, really a place to do manifestation. So, something, a part of this channel and a part of this, I've really been trying to really tap into my intuition, and that's what tarot is all about, is tapping into your intuition. So let me just turn down this music just a little bit, and let's see really quick what we got here today. So as you can see, I've brought a pine cone here today to kind of help, if you're not familiar with the significance of pine cones can represent enlightenment. In, I think, Egyptian culture and history or mythology, it also represents transition between life and death. Also the third eye. So if you are familiar with what your third eye or pineal gland can help you do, is live at a higher vibration. So this is something really nice I wanted to just bring into this energy. I also love pine nuts as well. I'm not actually sure if pine nuts are totally. Do pine nuts come from pine trees? I guess now I find myself not sure. But yeah, anyway, it's like pine cones are really beautiful. When I find a nice one, I like to collect them. So this is one that has been collected. Um, Another thing I wanted to also bring in here. This is a blue apatite stone. Again, this is really around harnessing that intuition, that tapping into yourself and following your gut. Intuition, again, this is another thing to help open your third eye. And third eye, again, is enlightenment. And being able to really go deep. It could mean also being able to, do astral projection. If you're familiar with astral projection, it personally, I've been trying to do a little lucid dreaming. I haven't necessarily gotten there, but we can talk all about that some other time if you're interested. Blue lotus tea definitely helps with that. I also have a dream tincture, but sleeping with something like with specific crystals at night can also help. When you set your intention, if you want to lucid dream or you want to, do astral projection. Apparently, the benefits of that are very significant in just mental health, and having more control over your life. So it's something I won't touch upon too much here, but it is really something that is interesting to explore. I think the dream state is more than just dreaming. It's tapping into your subconscious, and when you have more control of your subconscious, you have a little more control of these, let's just say, negative or positive thoughts that come up for you that you may not even know about. I think we all deeply have probably some deeply rooted negative thoughts that exist, and being able to do lucid dreaming and having that control can actually help you overcome, certain limitations that you may have. So really awesome stuff. Blue lotus is definitely something that helps open that. And yeah, mugwort is also something that you could mix with the blue lotus to help even further your visions. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so those are like the two things I kind of wanted to set the tone in. I also, again, brought my tuning forks. This is, you know, letters C and G. These specifically, I have like a beginner set that I like to kind of use in the morning. And, hopefully, I'm just gonna do a little play around with this for just a second, just to set a mood and a vibe. Hopefully you can hear it. I'll turn off the music. And what's been told to me about these is if you were to, if you just needed a moment out of your day to set a little grounding and return to yourself or start your morning in this way, this is a really awesome tool to use. Sound healing instruments are something I'm definitely trying to get into, especially after being around a lot of let's just say musical artists around the weekend and learning more about it. It is very calming. So if you ever have a really challenging day, or you just want to wake up and just like set the tone, there's so much that comes into mind when we're trying to get our day started. So yes, here we go with just a little bit of healing here. That was really lovely. I hope you're able to hear just a little bit of that. I am overdue to get a proper mic in here, to really have those sounds resonate, because it is so beautiful to really set a little grounding and relax. So hope you enjoyed that. So today I wanted to do a little bit of a longer tarot pull. If you're familiar, this is a very common spread that people will do called past, present, and future. So past, present, and future can help, do a little reflection about certain things in the past. The name itself lends its name to the the title of the spread. But yeah, typically you can pull 3 cards. You could also do follow up cards. Tarot is very, flexible in a sense, like you don't need to just pull 1 card or just follow the spreads. It's really the intention that you put into it. So, yeah, I would love to kind of take the time to um, I've been thinking a lot about, um, let's just say, my growth in general, or my path to finding myself. Something I wanted to share that I actually found in my notebook or my journal this morning. I wrote this, I think, months ago. And this is something really cool to do. I highly, highly suggest it. When there's a big, let's just say, astrological event that happens, for example, an eclipse. Eclipses kind of throw us all over the place. And because there's so many other things happening during an eclipse, including multiple retrogrades, it's a very challenging time. Um, so during that time, and I think the eclipse happened in April this year. If you guys also, I'm not sure where you guys are tuning in from, but if you also had a chance to see the eclipse, really, really awesome. So yeah, I during the eclipse time, and apologize, my notes are like very this is a sneak peek into my horrible handwriting, but during the eclipse, I wanted to set an affirmation and something to really help me ground myself and remind myself that I am on the right path. No matter how hard things are, how disconnected I might feel or we feel, how, the hardships in the world, it all affects your mental state. And I think during that time it was really, really felt. And it's really easy to be hard on yourself. I'm super, super hard on myself. So something that I doodled, I just, in I love to do this again around big astrological events, where you go forward in your journal to a date and just rewrite the affirmation and then go forward again into another date. So, I found that for tomorrow, sorry, my handwriting is very messy, but um, I wrote, I am on the right path to discovery. So yeah, it's just a reminder that no matter what is going on, even if I feel really, really disconnected, that I'm on the right path to discovery. um yes, good question. Even if you weren't able to see the eclipse exactly where you are, the energy is always felt. Like, we on earth are this small, then we have the whole, like, planetary system above us. So to it, you'll definitely feel all the effects of the eclipse. And eclipses are always really big in death and rebirth. So, death of the ego, death of something, and or a lot of conflict happening that leads up to this time. Like, usually we actually feel it even, let's just say, a month in advance, and then it starts to build even, much more intense when the eclipse is about to happen. And when the eclipse happens, it could be like culmination of all that energy and feeling, and then, it happens, and then there's a release. Typically it's again, the release may not happen immediately. I would say, though, um, if you were closer to the eclipse, I think there's the closer you are, the more the energy is felt like almost immediately. So I was lucky enough to actually see the solar eclipse in totality. I traveled down to Texas, although it was a little cloudy, but we did see it still, with a couple of friends. And yes, everything leading up to it was super, super intense. And it was a really good time for reflection and letting go. So eclipses really want us to let go. And yes, to answer your question, anything that happens in terms of planetary movement, it will always it affects everyone on a collective level, and depending also on your signs, um, you know, your whole entire your astrological chart, certain things may affect you a little more intense than others. So depending on that movement, it's more than just, your sun, rising, and moon. There's a lot deeper impact depending on all the different transits. And again, the eclipse had more than just, the eclipse itself, the sun and the moon. It was all these other things. It wasn't my first eclipse. Actually, I was very lucky to catch it in 2017 in Oregon. I think that was my first one, and ever since then, I have been almost, let's just say, addicted to wanting to continue to chase eclipse. And it's funny because I met so many people camping out in Oregon, from all over the world, and they were just like, oh, by the way, once you see an eclipse, you kind of become an eclipse chaser. And that's exactly what happened. So that's really awesome that you also shared that experience in Oregon. That was really incredible. I mean, that one was not cloudy at all. I was full on there, and it was really intense leading up to it again, but it was super, super incredible. It was really, really lovely. And the cool thing about eclipses is it will. Oh no, you gaze it without glasses. I hope your eyesight is okay. Everyone says that you can't do that, but it is. It is not recommended. But yeah, that's very brave of you. Yeah, so it was really, really great. I hope, it's such a natural phenomenon. I hope that you guys here continue to see or catch your first eclipse. It is, I think the next one I hear that is reaching totality is in 2025. Wait, next year is 2025. Or was it 2026? It's coming very soon. The totality happens, at least once a year, I think, or every other year. But the next one will be in Spain, so that would be pretty cool. Um, yeah, you must have special powers. That's incredible. So yeah, aside from eclipses, I wanted to take the next moment to go through a past, present, future reading. And I want to kind of make this a little, I mean, it's hard to make a reading general, but I will, obviously set my intention, but we'll do our best together to kind of talk through the symbolism of the cards, and how it kind of might relate to this. If anyone here has a specific thing you're interested in learning, your past, present, future, I would love to do a reading at some point. I need to get some more, let's just say, widgets up here so I can actually, or giveaways, and we can plan to do like a cool reading or something sometime. Um, but yeah, I guess, let's get started here. Again, this is the deck that I typically use. There are other decks that I will bring into these streams, but I like to, I'm most familiar with the Rider White deck, which is the most common classic deck. It is the original deck. This one was gifted to me by a friend, and it's very powerful, in symbology, specifically because it is the original one. So you will see, and if you've come to to these sessions with or streams with me before, you've learned that there's a lot of symbolism that has to do with older mythology, astrological things, religion. It's really, really cool. Um, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with a Nicomander. I'll have to look that up. I'm gonna note that. But I'm actually not sure I'm familiar with that term. But if you will be so nice to enlighten me, I would love to learn more about it. Um, so yeah, let's think about an intention today. So I think um, based on that prompt that I found, or the affirmation, I'm on the right path to discovery. I kind of want to harness the energy here and continue to grow. So, hmm. So, the way we set intentions, and honestly, there's no right or wrong way, but the way that I've learned to set intentions is, harnessing in, like, where can I do this? Or, like, where can I focus my energy? What is the situation telling me? And I do want to, again, focus on this path to self discovery. So, um, yeah, I think my intention today will be, how can I continue, or how can I better focus my area, or better focus my energy towards finding my purpose in this world. So, where can I focus my energy in finding my purpose in this world? Um, I'll keep repeating this in my mind as I shuffle. Again, it's all about the intention that you set. There's no right or wrong way to shuffle, but where can I focus my energy to find my purpose in this world? Oops. Where can I focus my energy to find my purpose in this world? Where can I focus my energy to find my purpose in this world? So, let's see, the past. Oh, wow. Okay. Present. Oh. And the future. Oh, wow. Okay, these are very, very interesting cards here. Okay, so um, this is really, really interesting. So, where can I focus my energy to find my purpose in this world? So I lined these cards up as this one here is past, this is present, and future. So we'll first dissect the past. Okay, so this is the Four of Swords. What's very interesting here is you'll see a person lying down horizontally on, let's just say, a slate, or it's not necessarily a bed. It feels like this person is almost like in a church, just given that there's like a stained glass here. And there is also a sword lying horizontally as well. This is a card of rest. This is a big rest card. And swords typically, let's just say, is air. I feel like I might have gotten this card on an earlier stream. So if you were here for that, awesome. You get to hear me talk about this again. But typically, yes, it's a big sign of rest. Swords represent power and intellect. And I relate to this so much because I've been dealing with so much health things, and I have been resting almost to the point of like serious disconnect from my friends and community. And it's been really challenging, but it is, the positive part of this card is these three swords. They really show, let's just say, pointing down. It's, one is a sign of rest, I'd say, because you're laying horizontally with that sword, but above is a sign of hope and opportunity. So it's really cool. It's like we all need these moments to rest, and I think I typically am very, very hard on myself, when it comes to rest, because we live in this go 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 environment and society where you want to continue to go, and so this is something super relatable to me. I've definitely, been resting a lot, which is great, but also I'm ready to go. I'm so ready to go. Um, and yeah, so that's very, very interesting. I also wanted to pull out something. This is an awesome resource if you're just getting into tarot. This is by Biddy Tarot. We've gone over her website before. Something I like to do that I'm not going to do today, but Biddy Tarot, great starter resource. And there's a really awesome way to dissect numbered cards. So you'll see this here. I'm just gonna jump to 4 because that was 4 of Swords, and stability and foundations. So it is, again, a sign of resting, to be more, to tap into your power, your innate power. So, to build that stability and foundation. So what's cool about these numbers is you can basically apply them to any suit. So, and you'll see in the future, I have, the future card is a 5, and we'll definitely dissect a 5 because 5s are challenging. But yeah, before we get before we get to the future card, present, so the world but reversed. What's cool about the world is there's so much going on in this card. It's a major arcana card, so it's a major life theme. Major arcanas, there's some really fascinating archetypes in here, but the world, the way I interpret the world, you'll see here, there's an infinity sign on the wreath. The I find this symbolism to be really interesting. These 4 corners here actually represent the 4, I should say, fixed signs. So if you're into astrology, Aquarius is right here on the top left. This, let's just say, it's not really I guess it's more of an eagle, is actually Scorpio. I'm very fascinated with Scorpio sign because I have 4 placements in Scorpio. So, also in the 12th house. So if you're familiar, that means death, the underworld. Maybe that's why I'm so drawn to tarot and doing readings and self reflection and, tapping into that. But Scorpios actually have 3 phases. So it starts at, let's just say, a falcon or an eagle. I think that is the proper, first start. The middle, and that's like, actually no, I lied. Let me take that back. The first start is actually a scorpion. So you may hear more often than not that scorpions are, resentful. Like let's just say the negative traits of Scorpio are usually really resentful, and can be really intense. I mean, there's levels of intensity for Scorpio, but intense in a bad way, like obsessive. And when a Scorpio starts to, let's just say, overcome those, I guess, negative traits, are to, then you move up as a Scorpio, you then become an eagle or a falcon, and at the end, you become a phoenix. And what does a phoenix do? A phoenix rises from the ashes. So Scorpio is also a really big sign of death and rebirth. So really fascinating again to see these fixed signs. Leo is here on the bottom right, and then Taurus here on the bottom left. I think, typically fixed signs, they're here to help ground. Fix are kind of, helpful in that way. Another weird, I guess, correlation of fixed signs, if you're into biblical references, are also I believe, apostles of Jesus. I actually grew up Catholic, but I wouldn't consider myself Catholic. I'm more spiritual. But there's something about the fixed signs, that relate to the apostles themselves. So there's some really interesting correlations, that I won't necessarily get into, because I actually truly, can't, like, it's been a while since I've studied this, but it's really, really interesting stuff if you want to look into it. Um, yeah, so, um, fixed signs as in they're, oh, so fixed signs, I won't get too much into this, but each element within astrology has there are different signs. There's the mutable signs, and I believe the cardinal signs, fixed signs, and I'm like, there's one more, and why right now I cannot remember at the top of my head. But basically, each sign, actually, no, I think that's it. Three, yeah, right. So fix are usually the signs that don't really like, or less, let's just say less about change. That's kind of how I see it, because if you're in a mutable sign, let's just say, for example, you're the start of a season. So the start of a season is transitioning, the very open. You can kind of think about that for like Pisces, Gemini, and yeah, Pisces, Gemini. I'm like, my brain today. Anyway, there's a whole thing, I can go through it next time, but yes, there each astrological element has one of each. So fixed, mutable, and cardinal. So there are influences depending on your chart, because your chart is made up more than your sun, rising, and moon. It's also your Mercury, your Venus. So there's a lot of influence. So you may have a fixed sign somewhere in your chart, which is really, really interesting. Anyway, back to the world here. Sorry to go on a tangent. Back to the world. The world, to me, the world, it means that the world is your oyster. I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of information. I could do a breakdown of astrology sometime, when we're not focusing on tarot itself, because I'm very, very also into astrology, although it's been quite some time since I've studied it. And yeah, so back to the world. The world is, I like to think of the world as like, the world is your oyster. There's so much opportunity there, and the world is a wheel. The wheel just keeps going. And I think, this sign means that there's a lot, this card means there's a lot of support for you, for me. But as a reverse one, it's like I'm resistance, to that, yes, the infinite loop. There's the infinite possibilities. Reverse typically means there's like a blockage, something that I'm doing to block it. It could be emotionally, mentally, subconscious thoughts. And this resonates so much because I have been blocking myself from opportunity and possibilities, and knowing that, the world is here to support me, that the universe is here to support me. And I've been very closed off. So in terms of trying to find my path to purpose, of course it's challenging because I myself am blocking it. So it is, and it's a really, I mean, again, even though that's happening, this card is also just a reminder that these opportunities exist. So really continue to stay open. And I think writing and meditation is also really helpful. It's not something I've been doing like every single day. I actually do use Insight Timer to track my meditation, and I fall out of it sometimes, especially when I wake up late. So, but anyway, yes, reminder that the world is here, the universe is here to support. Um, so the future, this is such an interesting card because 5, as you can see, is a very challenging card. This person is upset, wearing black. It's like a mourning card, like mourning for something. And you can see that there are 3 cups fallen over, and 2 cups standing up. So there, this, even though, let's just say, in that Biddy Everyday Tarot book, 5, every if you were to go through all of the different suits, 5 is always change and conflict. They typically look like super challenging. Cups represent the element of water, so relationships, relationship to self. This could also be, again, a sign of rebirth. So, it's a challenging time. Of course it is. I'm blocking a bunch of shit here, what the world's universe has to serve me. But I also, and I'm mourning that maybe I'm saying goodbye to a part of me, and today could mark that day. I did wake up feeling a lot better today. Let's just say, energy wise. Um, I won't get into so much into my health stuff, but I've been doing this let's just say holistic naturopathic health program that has a lot of ups and downs. And today I think I'm turning a new corner, or this week, so that's amazing. But saying goodbye to that part of myself, the 3 cups, I do want to say goodbye to it. And even though it's saying goodbye to these negative influences in my life, it's also like, there's a big mourning period. There's some sadness that gets brought up when you say goodbye, even if it is something that is better for you. So I think that's what this card is representing. The 2 cups in the back are still, I think every negative or somewhat negative card, you'll always see something positive. The 2 cups standing up will definitely represents, again, opportunity, maybe like holding on to the better parts of me. So what a fascinating reading today. And it kind of really aligns with my energy so much. Wow, I'm honestly blown away. Yeah, I hope that, this was, I kind of want to end it here. This is probably actually the longest stream that I've done so far. So kudos to me and you guys for, engaging with this. But I hope this was really helpful in sharing like how to dissect tarot. I really, obviously reading the cards and looking into the symbology is really a way to dissect it and read your cards. But, it's not just, it's taken time. It's like I've actually looked at a bunch of resources and follow a bunch of people to understand. Today we didn't necessarily go into like validating on different websites, but we can do that in a shorter reading. I'm happy to share. Also, maybe I need to update my profile a little bit to share some of my favorite resources, because if you're interested in doing more self-reflection and diving into this as a way of just growth for yourself, I highly, highly recommend. It doesn't need to be this deck either. You can definitely utilize other decks. And yeah, I'm more than happy to bring in. Actually, I have this Medicine Wheel deck, or sorry, medicine. It's called the Medicine Woman, and it's super, super dope. It's the one deck I don't necessarily let other people do readings on, because I keep it very dear to myself. I kind of want to harness that as my individual energy. But I would love to share with you guys because it's a really, really beautiful deck, especially if you are someone who is very interested in the healing space, want to help others. Yes, I would love to continue to share resources. That would be really lovely. Um, but yeah, I think on the next, let's just see. I just want to look at my calendar really quick. The next big either astrological event, or maybe I'll just even, you know, we do have a new moon in Mercury retrograde coming up soon, but maybe even just, man, August is what, the ninth month. We're like getting to the end of the year, so I think it would be a great time next week. Next Tuesday afternoon, I'll probably be on around the same time, and we can do a medicine woman. Oh, it's the eighth month, man. Honestly, I my date dyslexia is showing. I'm pretty bad with dates. And that's why I have a journal to really keep me honest here. But yeah, we can definitely. I mean, still, that means we're still more than halfway through the year. So yeah, I'd love to bring that out. There's some really awesome prompts, so it might be a longer stream. I might have to take a couple breaks because I'd love to share some really cool insights from even just the guide itself. And yeah, I'm not, I've only done a couple of readings in that deck, so it might take me a little bit longer, but we can learn together. That's what kind of this stream is all about. It's not just me, it's like a sharing. I just want to be here to share knowledge, and yeah, help you on your spiritual and self path to discovery journey. That's what I'm doing myself. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. I'll be back here next week. I you know I To answer your question about August, I'm not totally sure yet. I know there's a retrograde coming, so it's going to be a little bit challenging. And it's early August, so, and retrogrades kind of last for a few weeks, so we can talk about that, and I will come prepared talking about that as well. So, yes. Anyway, have a great day.